Hey everyone, welcome back to DataBit Central, your hub for mastering data science and coding. Today, we will embark on a journey, focusing on a new aspect: how to keep track of the different versions of your code and configuration files using version control systems or VCSs. It will allow us to easily roll back when mistakes happen and also help us collaborate with others. You might have already heard of version control systems in the context of managing configuration files or maintaining the source code of programs and scripts. This is your next big skill. So hit that like button if you're ready, grab a drink, and let's dive into Git and GitHub. In this video, I'll introduce you to a popular VCS called Git and show you some of the ways you can use it. We'll also go through how to set up an account with a service called GitHub, so that you can create your very own remote repositories to store your code and configuration. By the end of this guided video, you'll be able to store your code's history in Git and collaborate with others in GitHub. Let's get started. Nowadays, lots of employers will ask to see your GitHub portfolio when you're interviewing for IT roles. GitHub portfolios give companies an idea of what projects you've worked on and what kind of code you can write. This course will help you get your setup. Let's kick off with Git. It's free, works on Windows, Mac, and Linux. But what is version control? A version control system keeps track of the changes that we make to our files. By using a VCS, we can know when the changes were made and who made them. It also lets us easily revert a change if it turned out not to be a good idea. It makes collaboration easier by allowing us to merge changes from lots of different sources. VCSs let us retrieve past versions of the file or directory and see who changed which files, how each file was changed, and when the file was changed. On top of this, we can make edits to multiple files and treat that collection of edits as a single change, which is commonly known as a commit. A VCS even provides a mechanism to allow the author of a commit to record why the change was made, including what bugs, tickets, or issues were fixed by the change. This information can be a lifesaver when trying to understand a complex series of changes or to debug some obscure issue. So, be sure to record this extra info in your commits to be truly committed to better code. A version control system can be used to store much more than just code. We can use it to store configuration files, documentation, data files, or any other content that we may need to track. A VCS stores your code and configuration. It also stores the history of that code and configuration. A version control system can function a lot like a time machine, giving you insights into the decisions of the past. Git is a VCS. It's a free open source system available for installation on Unix-based platforms, Windows, and Mac OS. Git is now one of the most popular version control systems out there and is used in millions of projects. Unlike some version control systems that are centralized around a single server, Git has a distributed architecture. This means that every person contributing to a repository has a full copy of the repository on their own development machines. Collaborators can share and pull in changes that others have made as they need. And because the repositories are all local to the computer being used to create the files, most operations can be done really fast. If you want to collaborate with others, it usually makes sense to set up a repository on a server to act as a kind of hub for everyone to interact with. But Git doesn't rely on any kind of centralized server to provide control organizations to its workflow. Git can work as a standalone program, as a server, and as a client. This means that you can use Git on a single machine without even having a network connection, or you can use it as a server on a machine where you want to host your repository. And then you can use Git as a client to access the repository from another machine or even the same one. Git clients can communicate with Git servers over the network using HTTP, SSH, or Git's own special protocol. You can use it for small projects with like one developer or huge projects with thousands of contributors. You can use it to track private work that you can keep to yourself, or you can share your work with others by hosting a code on public servers like GitHub. What an exciting skill to dive into. That's all for now. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay updated. In the next video, we will learn how to install Git.